If you have trouble funneling deer in front of your tree stand locations, this is a video you need to watch. Hi, this is Matt from Reed's Custom Food Plots. I want to welcome you back to Pella, Wisconsin, to a project that we started about a year ago and have been working on ever since. If you're wondering how we got to the point that we're at today, I would encourage you to go back and check out our Pella project videos on our YouTube channel. We've taken it step by step to the point that we are here today. One of the things that we knew when we started this project is when we cleared out this area to my north here, we knew the pine trees in the area to the south was going to fill up with deer, and in fact it did. Just like we thought it would. And one of the issues you have with that is the deer are pretty unpredictable where they're coming through these pines onto this food plot. So we have stands on either end. We have the scaffolding stand on the east side of it. We've got a stand up on a basswood tree on the west end, and the deer funnel through here, but there's very little predictability where they come. So today what we're here to do is we're going to be installing a fence along this pine plantation in an effort to force the deer around one end or the other to put them within bull range of both of those stands and cut them off from the 4 or 5 or 6 different trails that are along in here. You know, last year we had the option when we cleared this of potentially pushing a berm, but the landowner really did not want a berm. So if you look at our videos from last year, you'll remember we put some piles of debris. We burned those piles over the winter time here, got rid of those piles. This is much cleaner, it's much neater. So now we're gonna need to install this fence to try to funnel the deer in front of those deer stands. All right, so our main area of concern on this food plot development was this area along the pine trees where the deer are crossing randomly. So this fence that we're gonna put up here is nothing fancy. You don't have to go spend a ton of money on this. We haven't spent hardly any money on this. We picked up some rolls of a pretty light garden fence at Menards. I think they're about 18 bucks a roll. For that, we put in some white electrical tape across for a top line on that to give it a little tension. We ran some blue baler twine through the bottom to give it a little more visibility. We pulled, I don't know, 8 or 10 fence posts out of the tweeds. If you had to buy fence posts, they're not expensive. You can get them for $3 or $4 a piece. So we don't have a lot invested in this, but we're gonna simply run this fence for about 200, 225 yards along this spruce plantation and pine plantation in order to try to get the deer to come around the ends of the fence in front of our stand locations. We have 2 other spots we're going to show you out here as well, where we've got some old snow fence that we're going to use, pull that back together that deer have historically gone around. Thought we were going to be able to use a rock wall on the north side of this field. That didn't work, actually. The deer went through that. So we're going to pull an old wire that's up on that rock wall. We're going to pull that back up. We'll show you that as well. Hopefully we'll have these deer directed a little more strategically in front of our stand locations. So while we're here in Pella, we want to show you a couple of other funnel setups that have been made on a little bit smaller scale. About 7 or 8 years ago, Chad was hunting in this area and had a real problem with deer that were getting to this clover plot and trying to get to this big apple tree that's behind us. And they were coming through about a 40 or 50 yard gap. They're pretty unpredictable. So what happened was we put this green fence up behind me. That fence actually just funneled the deer around the end of the fence. So the only way they can get to that apple tree and that clover plot is on one of these 2 trails that's right here in front of me. These 2 trails both cross within about 15 yards of a tree stand that's right behind the camera. And now they're really good bow setups and a really good way to get close to bucks that are using this area trying to get to that apple tree and that clover plot. All right, so 45 minutes later, Chad and I got a new fence put in here, and this funnel is put back to the way it was designed about 7 years ago. The only way deer now are getting to that apple tree over here to my left is around the end of the fence at about 15 yards from that tree stand. If you're having trouble getting deer within good shooting distance of your tree stands, don't be afraid to try some of these fencing alternatives. This fence that we got here, we got for nothing. It was a rolled up fence on a roadside somewhere. The fence that we put around the big food plot, there's maybe $120, $125 worth of materials and a few hours worth of labor in there. Give it a try. See if it can help you and get those deer closer and improve your hunting. If you've got questions or comments, please feel free to drop them below. We'd be happy to answer them. And thanks for watching. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.